Women in the Kushite Kingdoms were treated as equals. They had power, authority, political and personal independence. They were leaders, warriors, queens, regent, and high priestesses. They held the very highest of positions, with some famous queens well known across the ancient world, and an independence unmatched anywhere else at the time or even at the present. My name is Shadia Taha, and I'm a heritage specialist. And today in this video, I would like to show you examples of the roles played by women in Kush. I will use archaeological evidence as well as ancient Egyptians, Greeks, and Romans records and travelers' texts to demonstrate to you the power, accomplishment, and responsibilities undertaken by these incredible women. The outstanding accomplishment of women in Kush became the subject of fascination, admiration, and curiosity since the Greek and Roman records about warriors' queens, the one-eyed queen, and the queen who defeated Rome. Our knowledge about women in Kush comes from archaeological evidence such as royal writings in inscriptions and steles, grave goods, as well as iconography, paintings, and carvings found in palaces, pyramids, and temple walls. It's also evidence from ancient Egyptians, Greeks, and Roman narratives and travelers' writings. There is even a biblical mention of the Kandake in the New Testament, Acts 27 to 39. But I must point out that most of what we know is about royal women and women of high status. And that is because most of our knowledge comes from palaces, pyramids, and temples. And because the Meroitic language hasn't been deciphered yet. For that reason, we don't have information about ordinary women so far. The title Candace or Kandake was used in Meroitic script to refer to royal women, queen mother, consort queen, or sisters. In Sudanese Arabic, it is pronounced Kandaka or Kandasa. Iconography from the religious scene of temple walls prove the importance of queen mothers for the coronation ceremony. Queen mother did not just attend the coronation ceremony, they did take part. They participated in the selection and coronation ceremonies. They delivered speeches, blessed the new monarch, and played an important role in endorsing the new ruler. The descent line in Kush was through the mother line. To be entitled to the throne, your mother has to be a queen. And women's opinion in Kush were very highly valued. Hence, the monarch inner circle included the queen mother, consort queen, and royal princesses. And the significance and importance of royal women opinion and participation and authority preserved until the end of the Christian kingdoms in Sudan in the 16th century. And in fact, even in present-day Sudan, women hold very prominent positions. And when they lead political demonstrations or they come up with new opinions or new changes, they are referred to as Kandake or Kandase. And although we have abundant information, especially about royal women during the Kingdom of Nabta and the Kingdom of Meroe, in contrast, we have very little data about the specific roles played by royal women during the Kingdom of Kerma. And that is due to several factors. We don't have written records because the Kermans didn't have a written language. And because of wind and sand erosions, we don't have well-preserved palaces and temples. And because even in the ancient past, grave robbers looted valuable objects. And of course, when Thutmose I invaded, attacked, and demolished Kerma in 1500 BCE, valuable information were lost then. And even so, there are some clues and sources which indicate that women in Kerma held very distinguished roles. Dr. Elizabeth Miner analyzed photographs of a funeral chapel taken by Reisner when he was excavating in Kerma between 1913 and 1916. She explained that the wall painting in Kerma demonstrates the importance of women in religious and funerary rituals. And she gave examples. In one of the photographs she analyzed, the woman was wearing a silver necklace, a bracelet, and leather pleated skirt with silver beads. There were more leather pleated skirts with silver beading found in other graves in Kerma. So Dr. Miner concluded that the woman in the photograph represents a woman of high status. Another clue came from another photograph where the woman in the photograph was presented as a very large-built woman. And we know as a fact that from the kingdom of Nabta and the kingdom of Meroe, women were portrayed as large-built women. And that is a symbol of power and affluence. That means the royal women or women were well-fed and they were not starved. Dr. Miner suggests that the woman in the photograph represents a class of priestess, and most likely she will be a royal princess. And she thinks that the design of the inlaid funeral bed gives us a clue and demonstrates the importance of women in religious practices in Kerma. The Queen Mother's significant role in her son's coronation ceremony was mentioned by Pharaoh Taharka and Pharaoh Analamani. Pharaoh Taharka's narrative informed us that he delayed his coronation until his mother can reach from Nabta to Memphis for his coronation. Queen mothers had titles. For example, Taharka's mother was the mistress of Kush, the mistress of foreign lands, the great lady of the two lands, and the great lady of Upper and Lower Egypt. During the Nabatean period, consort queens had considerable influence and authority. They co-ruled with their husbands, and queens were buried in their own pyramids in royal cemeteries. Equality was maintained in life and in death. Unlike ancient Egypt, kings and queens were buried side by side in the same cemeteries. Queens had their own memorial steles and rich grave goods, and queens' pyramids were equal to those of kings in quality, richness, and splendor. The status of the godwives of Ammon was one of the most powerful offices in ancient Egypt. The Kushites revived the office of the godwives of Ammon, and the office gained a highly influential status during the Kushites' rule over ancient Egypt. Godwives held large estates, wealth, and power, and the office had political, economic, and religious influence. The position of high priestesses was usually held by a royal princess appointed by her father or brother. High priestesses performed all rituals and dedicated themselves to the service of Ammon, and in return, they got tax-free land, housing, gold, silver, and servants. Kushite princesses who held the role of godwives include Amenderith I, daughter of Pharaoh Kashta and one of the most powerful godwives of Ammon, Shepinwepet II, daughter of Pharaoh Pie and half-sister of Pharaoh Taharka, and Amenderith II, daughter of Pharaoh Taharka. Just to give you an idea of the power and authority of high priestesses, Dr. Emily Teeter analyzed the wall iconography of Amenderith I's funerary chapel. She explains how the godwives of Ammon were presented as kings in iconography and paintings. For example, in this wall iconography, Shepinwepet was portrayed as similar in height as the gods. And generally, only kings and queens were painted as the same height as the gods. And not only that, but Amenderit I was shown wearing a snake on her forehead, which is a sign of royalty. Her name is encircled in a cartouche, and this is usually reserved for kings and queens. She was depicted wearing the double feather crown, representing authority over the two kingdoms of Egypt and Nubia. And these are just a few examples of how godwives of Amun were shown to be just as powerful as kings and queens. And after the 25th dynasty lost their rule over Egypt and the office of the godwives of Amun, due to the Assyrian invasion, as I mentioned in my first video, royal ladies continued to hold authoritative and influential positions among the temple priesthood of Amun at Nabta and other places. I hope you found this video interesting and informative. And if you'd like to know more about the Kingdom of Karma, please click on the other videos in my channel. And if you have any questions on the topics covered or any suggestions, I would love to hear your comments. Finally, if you have enjoyed watching this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel.